Hello everybody, welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. We're going to get started here. Just give it a minute. I'm just getting everything sorted here. Bit of a last minute live stream. So we're going to get started here, like I said, in about a minute. We got Pump Up the Jam in the house. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining, my man. And I really appreciate your help as a moderator. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. We'll jump into the market update, ticker request. We'll hang out for a bit. And yeah, we'll do what it takes to be successful, to put in the work and come up here like we do every single day. We show up, we learn every single day. And yeah, there's no shortcuts to life. I had a little fun yesterday. And yeah, I had a lot of people saying, you know, they agree. If you saw the amount of comments that I had of people saying make shorter videos, again, we got to get away from this instant gratification mindset and make work great again, right? Like, don't be afraid of putting in the work and coming on and, like I said, being proud of putting in the time and the effort and seeing the benefits of, you know, the fruits of the labor, essentially, right? So we'll get started here. We got Remy in the house. Welcome, welcome. See, we have a few people joining, so we're going to get started here now. We'll jump into a market update, ticker requests, and as always, we'll jump into members only, and then YouTube members. And if anybody on YouTube, the public, wants me to take a look at anything, just let me know, and we'll jump into that at the end. Before we do, though, make sure to smash like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Take the bell to be notified on any future videos. And follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPal. Going to be using that as my platform of choice. And as always, not financial advice. Whoa, look at Litecoin there. Entertainment purposes only. But yeah, we're just absolutely crushing it here in the PAL Group community. We've been doing a lot more trades lately. And Litecoin, might be some news brewing here for Litecoin. We'll see if these ETFs get approved. Really, it could happen anytime. XLM, we've got HBAR, Algo's another one that we were looking at. Monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross lining up. But love to see it. Let's bring up SPY here. So SPY, we had a daily bull flag target of 648. And where do we hit today? Today we hit 642, almost 643. So we almost hit our daily bull flag, which was the 648 target, and weekly bull flag at 655. But yeah, once we get to that level, folks, like, we might get to 700. Who knows? No one has a crystal ball, but I would really start to be contemplating your exit plans at this point. Because, man, things are heated. Even on the monthly time frame, right? If we zoom out to the monthly on SPY, there's no monthly support all the way down here to 481. So we could easily pull back 25% and not even be at monthly support. So 25% on the S&P 500, that's a big deal too. All right, what are we doing here on DXY? So we'll take a look at that real quick. So we continue to break down. That one's actually a monthly bear flag. And that one's saying about 88 on our way to monthly oversold. So that's very close to confirming. That would be massive for stocks and crypto and equities, risk on assets into the end of the year here. But yeah, SPY, less than 3 minutes left in the day today, and more than likely going to hit that daily bull flag target of 648 this week, potentially, closing near the high of the day. And set for the highest close ever. So let's look at once more. If we take a look at crypto on the day today, we're starting to get some, we just actually had a POW algo alert that went off on XRP. Bullish alert that just went off in the POW algo service. Well, yeah, we have Link, ADA, Sol leading the bull list today, and on the bear list we have Solo, BAT, and that is it. Bitcoin dominance, so we mentioned this, it was a bear flag, and we actually confirmed it today with follow through. Actually, we confirmed it a few days ago, but today we're dropping to a lower low, so we're looking at a move down to around 57%. This is great to see. We're probably in the early stages of seeing alts go absolutely nuts. And the reason why, the biggest reason why, in my opinion, is Ethereum getting over 4,500 and the SEC deeming it liquid staking, not securities. So that was obviously huge for Ethereum, but obviously just, you know, kind of catching up to the rest of the market. And yeah, this is a great sign for alts. And we're more than likely going, like, think about the amount of catalysts for crypto just on the horizon. We have the Market Structure Clarity Act. We have ETFs going live and rate cuts potentially coming next month. All three of those things, folks. Oh man, things are going to get absolutely nuts. So let's jump into MJ real quick. So we had a green day for the most part, and then we started to pull back. Not surprising. Could easily pull back 30-40% on a lot of these names, and that would be expected. CXXI, ROMJ, and MSOX leading the decline today. And on the bull list, we've got AYR for some strange, stupid reason. People just gambling their hard-earned money away. Hopefully you're making money and not getting absolutely rugged here. But PLTH and CL leading the bull list. Tillray was leading the way for the most part, but we were at 120, the high of the day. And from the high of the day to the low of the day, we're now down 20%. So I said you need to expect like 20-30% pullback easily. And this thing could easily pull back probably down to around 85 cents, maybe even 75 cents. So we sold yesterday the Powder Private Community. We entered a trade at 44 cents. And most of it was the falling wedge breaking bullish on the weekly time frame. We also had the hidden RSI bullish divergence with lower highs, lower lows on the price, and higher lows, higher highs on the RSI. And then we had the daily bull flag target of 108. So that's why we entered that trade. And like I said, we entered at 44 cents. We sold it at 88 cents, and we all hit 100% on that trade. Also, I've been doing trades on BTCC. So there'll be links for this in the description in the comment section. If you want to come join us and do copy trading, there is currently 23 the last time I checked. Yeah, so there's 23 people copying me on BTCC. And you can see here I have about 3,900 assets under management at the moment. So if you just go on here, if you sign up with the link in the description in the comment section, you'll get a 10% bonus. But essentially the main thing is you can come on here and copy all of my trades. And you can see all of the history. So I've made 10 trades so far, and 8 of them have been successful. The only 2 that I lost, one I lost 3%, and the other one I lost 21%. But as you can see here, we had a 77% trade, 39, 19, 18, 36, 25, 12, 14, 8. That definitely makes up for the 3% loss, and the other minus 21%. And it was just a smaller amount anyway. So 23 people. If we go over here to the followers, you can see all the leaders. Whoa, wow, Hers, you just took the lead again. 479. So you can see here, I don't even know who that email is there, but they're doing well. I've only been doing copy trading for a couple of weeks. And you can see most people are starting with $500, but as you can see, most people are up almost double their money already. So 23 copy traders at the moment, and we do have some trades open. So if I just scroll down, go here to lead trade. So I'm up 7% on my XRP at the moment. I'm up 5% on my XLM, and I'm down right now 10% on HBAR, but that should turn into the green here very, 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 very soon. And then that could be potentially 13 trades, and what would that be? 11 wins. So I've been using the POW Algo Alert service as well. And we actually just entered, so we exited our Tillray trade yesterday at 100% gain, and now we're looking for another 100% gain. And yeah, if you want to join in on the fun, you can join the Powder Private Community, but that's for members only. So if you want to join in on that, we're looking to do a lot more trades, especially with the Algo Alert service all beefed up now. Like yesterday alone, we had, I think, like 20 POW Algo Alerts that went off. But yeah, Tillray pulling back here now. What do we have for individual names on the day today? Whoops, that's indices. Let's go to main. So Vivo Power absolutely crushing it. We had that cup and handle. We had the target of $9, and we had a double top into consolidation. And I was looking for this bear flag to confirm, saying around 259, and we didn't get there. It had some bullish news, well, a couple news catalysts that came out, and off the low there, it was up from the high of the day today. It was up almost 100% there as well. So super volatile, very risky. But this one's working on an XRP treasury strategy, and also just invested in Ripple, not to be conflated with XRP. One's a company, one's a digital asset. But yeah, DDD, another big move here. I mentioned this one under $2 was a steal. And we had a bear flag target of 127, and off that target, it's up 88%. All right. I think that's it for now. We'll jump into any updates here in the Power Group private community as well. So we're just checking in. Crypto. What's your thoughts on Riot? Hasn't hit news much since pushing on the monthly 0.32 fib. Yeah, I can take a look at that. So I'm just gonna review it now, and I'll just tell you that it's on the live stream. So 11 minutes in. So yeah, we can give you my thought on Riot here. So this is one of those names, right, where it's ran so much. Like, look where we were in March of 2020. It was at like 50 cents. And it actually did a bunch of splits. So it did a 1 for 8 reverse split, a 1 for 6, a 1 for 5. But yeah, we were at 51 cents, and then it ran all the way up to 79, almost $80. So it was up like 152x, right? Or 15,000, over 15,000%. So I just not really super interested, but it's looking really bullish at the moment. We got a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross lining up. The last time that happened, price went from like $3 to 80. We got this channel that's basically forming here now. Draw it like that. So if we can break out of here, see that monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the monthly time frame. Oops. All right, let me go here. So yeah, it does look like a monthly bull flag. Let me just take a look at it. Yeah, see, the higher low started below the 0.32 fib. And let me just make sure I have that drawn correctly. Yeah, so if we go from swing low to swing high, you can see we just started consolidating. So yeah, it's still a monthly bull flag, but it's not the most textbook one I've ever seen. But yeah, as long as we hold really 10.25, I would say it's set up for one. And there's a lot of weekly bull flags out there in crypto as well. And then this one's looking at around, if it does confirm, so key resistance is going to be 1534 there. If it does confirm, you're looking at a move up to about 2650. Let's see what else we can see here. Weekly time frame. We're almost seeing a bearish triple thunder crossover. The price is losing the 10-week, and we lost the stochastics bearish, and we're close to seeing a MACD bear cross. So we might continue monthly consolidation just based on that. 50 and the 200 weekly moving average bull cross lining up as well. So that's huge, but it's still pretty far away. So again, I would say in the short term, we're probably due for a little bit more correction. Come back down to that 200-day moving average there around 1044 makes a lot of sense. And then as we see these tighten up over the next couple of weeks, we could see that 50 and 200 weekly moving average bull cross. What do we see on the shorter term time frames? I think we have a daily bear flag. Yeah, we do. So this is actually a daily bear flag. So again, adding more confluence to the fact that we could see a little bit more weakness here in the short term. And that one's saying 880, which would line up with the closer to the 50-day moving average at 968. But again, when a name has run from 50 cents to $80 and even still at $11, you know, it's still up over 2,000%. So I don't know, I think there's better risk to reward opportunities out there. But as long as you're using a tight stop, that's what I would recommend. All right, jumping into when do we think we get news? Week of August 25, Jeremy says. Like in terms of rescheduling? See what Jeremy said in the Algo alert. Just went off as well, but we'll see what Jeremy said there. Yeah, so we had a micro overbought go off on XRP and the Algo alerts. It also emails them out. ETH trades back above 4,500. Yeah, if it gets above 5,000, that's going to be huge. What else do we got here? Not really much A lot of people were expecting U.S. Congressman vows to file 1 to 3 Act to reschedule MJ. So Trump reschedules MJ, the game is over. I'm not even going to say that because people are going to get pissed off. Bipartisan congressional lawmaker. There we go, bipartisan. That's better. Congressional lawmakers push Trump to reschedule MJ as he announces it's under review. So again, folks, they basically told us we're going to go look at what 2 plus 2 is. We're going to come back in a couple weeks and let you know the verdict of what 2 plus 2 is. We'll jump into, I would say, closer to September end-ish. So again, after Crypto Clarity Act. So I'm expecting rescheduling push to be after the Clarity Act, which is more than likely going to be in September, and that's going to be the market structure for crypto. After that, there'll be nothing really to legislate for crypto. We'll have everything clear rules of the road, similar to 1996 and the Telecommunications Act in the early days of the internet, and then I think they're going to pivot over to MJ after that. All right, so we got some requests here for PAL Group private community members. If you want something done, if you want something done, have it to be a busy person. Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up on the PAL Group private community. It's been a day. It's been a couple days. It's been a week. It feels like it's been 5 days this week already. But yeah, we'll jump into the PAL Group private community members first. Then we'll jump into PAL Group, YouTube member request, and then we'll jump into the public here at the end. What's the TA saying on MSOS? Yeah, we can take a look at that one. So again, I would assume that we're probably going to start to pull back here. Daily consolidation, we have a gap as well at 379. But no major red flags yet. We're set up for an inside bar into tomorrow based on the size of today's range and closing near the middle of the candle, but essentially just right in the middle of today's range here after hours. We are at risk of an hourly downtrend here with a lower high, lower low, but it is an hourly bull flag. So if we take, actually, so was Tillray. So into tomorrow, we could see this play out, but we'll look at what support and resistance levels are the most important, what we need to see to confirm it, what we need to see to negate it. So key support is going to be 427. If we lose that, then that's going to negate the odds of this bull flag playing out. And it's also going to confirm an hourly downtrend, which would be not a good sign. We could be heading to hourly oversold. If you're looking for a nice swing trade, this could be a nice entry here on MSOS, looking for daily oversold, or sorry, hourly oversold, looking for a daily high or low. So watch for hourly oversold. This one should be a massive move. Even 5-minute oversold will probably be a decent bounce, which we did hit it here into the end of the day. And as you can see, we're already bouncing quite a bit. We're already up like 3%. So this might bounce up to around 480, $5, and then we could potentially head to hourly oversold. But again, no one has a crystal ball. We just look at support and resistance. So key support is going to be 427. That's the most important. But in the short term, 444 confirms the hourly downtrend. So if we confirm the hourly downtrend, that's not a good look, but it could be a massive bear trap here. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to 444. I'd be looking at 427. If we lose 427, heading back down to under $4 potentially, fill that gap. But if we break the high here at 511 and hold 427, that's going to confirm the hourly bull flag, and then you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, and it's saying 679 would be the target. And this is how quickly things can change, right? Just in such a, you blink an eye, and MSOS goes from $2 to $5. Golden Cross lining up, still a ways away, but probably going to be a few weeks at this point. We do have the 50 weekly at 589 as well, so that's going to be strong resistance. And we did have the bullish Triple Thunder crossover that went off on MSOS as well. If we bring up the PAL Algo alerts, when did it go off? Search by MSOS. So we had the bullish Triple Thunder crossover. This went off on July 8th. So this is what it looks like in the PAL Algo alert service when you get these notifications. And this is a proprietary algorithm that I created. So basically, when I look at these charts, I just put my brain into the algorithm, and I said, okay, well, I'm looking at this manually, so how about if I put it into an algorithm and an alert that fires off automatically? That's exactly what I did. So right here, we had the MACD and stochastic cross bullish, and we got above the 10-week moving average. So that week of July 7th is when it should have fired. So we go over here, and sure enough, sure as shit, we got July 8th is when it fired off. So let's go to July 8th and see where we were on the price. So on July 8th, we closed at 261. So you had a buy signal on MSOS on July 8th at 261. And from 261, which was the buy signal where we closed there, that was upside of almost 100%. So that's the power of these Powell algo alerts. Plus, you're not glued to the charts all the time. It takes a lot of the guesswork out, and you're getting these early buy and sell signals directly to your email or in the Powell Group private community. Like I said, over here in the Powell Algo Alerts channel. But you only get this if you're in the Powell Group private community, and you can ask questions. I can show you the chart, and we can have some discourse around it. Whereas if you're in the emails, you're just getting the alerts, and there's not as much discussion to go along with it. So definitely pays to be in the Powell Group private community as well. So I think I got all the threads updated here. So general news, what do we got here? We got some reports coming in. Rigetti Computing just reported their second quarter. Copy link, put it over here in the AI channel. Tomorrow's OGI, and then Thursday we got Oxley, so that's going to be an exciting time. All right, so TN and MSOS, already did that. So CGC for Al, no problem at all. Let's do CGC. So massive move. Earnings, obviously, that was a huge catalyst. We had that symmetrical triangle as well that broke out, and we had the EMA 12 and 26 bull cross follow through, which gave us a bit of a heads up to say, okay, you know, we already had the EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. We have no support all the way down to 102. So we knew to be expecting a pullback, and we were right there at resistance. We had 180 and we hit 181. So double top right now. That was a monster short too. Or just save yourself 15% of downside. And we just had the bullish triple thunder crossover, similar to what happened to MSOS on CGC. So you could easily see another 50% to 100% gain on a lot of these names. We have nothing nearby until the 237 level at 50 weekly. And on the daily time frame, we have the 200-day moving average rate there at 204 as well. So there was a lot of resistance in that 180 to $2 level, and we're potentially set up for daily consolidation into tomorrow. So don't be surprised if we do come back into the 150s, 140s into tomorrow based on a close near the low of the day. Already had the EMA 12 and 26 bull cross with follow through, so wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw daily consolidation, and like I said, a daily high or low somewhere around 140, 130 into tomorrow. But if we do start daily consolidation, again, hourly oversold, this should be a nice entry for a bounce. Even 5-minute oversold, but again, into the end of the day here, you would have, you know, unless you play aftermarket. Yeah, we didn't actually hit 5-minute oversold, so this one should be a nice bounce in the 5-minute. But I'd be more concerned about hourly. I'd be more interested in hourly oversold conditions, because we're due for a daily high or low, and we have no support all the way down to $1.02. So just be very, very cautious. And this one confirmed a bull flag, but it's another one. Let me get rid of a couple things here. Yeah, this one's a little choppy. Didn't start hourly consolidation till there. So let's zoom out. It might be a little bit more clear on the 2-hour. Put our low to the high there. Held the 0.32 fibs for our bull flag target, saying 175, and here we are into consolidation again. So yeah, don't be surprised if we come down into 140s, 130s into the end of the week here. All right, just bringing up the Powell Group private community here again. MJ News: Indiana governor says federal MJ rescheduling could speed up statewide legalization. Over 50 companies advancing 55 cannabinoid-based treatments through global clinical trials, finds report. All right, so did CGC, did MSOS, and we're going to take a look at AGA. Again, if you ask multiple tickers, then I'll spend more time on the first one, and then we'll briefly go over the other one. So AGA on the TSX. So this one, look at that. So I charted this for you last time, Chris, and I said it was a ascending triangle, and we had a target of 129, and we hit the high there of 126. So you literally can't make this stuff up. I mentioned this yesterday. Either I'm the biggest bullshitter in the world, or I'm the biggest, luckiest, biggest bullshitter. How do you make this stuff up and then get bang on every single time, right? Like you can't just, yeah, it's impossible. You literally can't make this stuff up. But now we have an hourly bear flag that confirmed, or sorry, a daily bear flag. I'm on the daily time frame here. And if we ignore that upper wick, it ended up being a target of 72 cents. So yeah, we're looking like we could see a little bit more downside here, about 9.5%. EGA.V, and we did see a bearish triple thunder crossover as well. We lost the 10-week moving average, MACD and stochastic bear cross. So yeah, don't be surprised if it comes back down to around 70 cents. Again, right, we hit our key resistance after a big move. Need to expect downside. Then we had our daily bear flag, gave us even more confluence, and we just had an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross with a daily downtrend confirming. So it's all the confluence you need. Expect more downside. Nothing on the weekly so just lack of trading history. Daily time frame, we do have the 50-day moving average at 75 cents as well. So more than likely going to come back and back test that. Luca on the TSX. That one closed at the high of the day today. A little liquid, not a whole lot of volume on this one. Okay, I did chart this one for you before. So yeah, it's still chugging along that weekly bull flag target. So we still have 297. So it came within about 70%. But we're really tight here on the weekly time frame. Look at all these inside bars. Inside bar, bull break, but failed breakout, inside bar. So key resistance 165, key support 159. We're going to see a big move. And this one's actually an ascending triangle as well. We had a breakout here. So what you would be looking at is this right here. So that, let me just get rid of this. There's your ascending triangle there. And you would go from the measured move to where we broke out. And it's saying a move up to around $1.93. And we have a high there of 174. It was actually a double top. So we'll see how this inside bars here break on the weekly time frame. Thank you, Rod. You bet. No problem at all, Chris. And MRMD on the CSE. MariMed. So this one's pretty illiquid as well. I think there's better names out there, to be honest with you. Not a big fan of MariMed. But yeah, we're topping out right at the monthly EMA 12. Daily, looks like a potential daily bull flag here, but again, there's just barely any volume on this thing. Yeah, this one's looking at potential move up to around 25 cents. Daily bull flag that confirmed. XLM moving. Yeah, it is moving. Not as much as Litecoin, but here we go. How's our trades looking on here now? On BTCC. There we go. We're almost double digits on XRP. We're almost double digits on XLM. And our only losing trade at the moment at H bar is close to turning green. Let's see if we had any more copy traders as well. So yeah, still 23. I can have 500, so there's still some room for people to jump on. All right. Jump into ticker requests here on the public side. MRMD on USD? MRMD, I'm not sure what that means, Chris. MRMD. You said CSE. MRMD. You mean the OTC one? But anyway, I'll have to keep going along because I see you're typing there in the Power Group private community. If you want to let me know real quick here, American side. Yeah, so the OTC then, not the CSC. Yeah, so weekly time frame. EMA 12 and 26 bull cross lining up. Yeah, it's not as clear here on the daily. It's pretty hard to chart this one, not gonna lie. It does look like an hourly bull flag. Yeah, just with these names that barely see any volume. It's pretty hard to do any kind of technical analysis on it, but yeah, it is a hourly bull flag at the moment, like a lot of names, and that one's looking at about 16 cents USD. Yes, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so we got all of those. All right. Man, on days like today and yesterday, Power Group Private Community is absolutely nuts. My phone goes nuts, my emails, social media. It's pretty crazy. It's funny how people are so bothered by a reverse split. Like, I just showed you Riot. People love this thing, and it did 3. Did a 1 for 8, a 1 for 6, and a 1 for 5, and then it went from 50 cents to $80, and it still saw upside of 156x. So over 15,000%. CGC did a reverse split. Wait, what? 1 for 5. Did it do 2 reverse splits? No. I know it did a 1 for 10. I don't remember it doing a 1 for 5. April 2014? I don't know what's going on there. But ACB did 2. Now all of a sudden everybody loves Aurora. And then I'm like, you do realize they did 2 reverse splits, right? And they're like, no, they didn't. Like, yeah, they did. And they're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll stay in Tillray then. It's like, you didn't even know. It's funny. Again, that's the 5-minute and 1-minute videos getting to you, folks. You gotta spend more than a minute or 5 minutes into these things. All right. Jump into the chat here. Hit the like button. Thank you, Jam. I appreciate it. So we got Bilal. What's up? What's up? What's up? Tillray selling off after hours. Yeah, well, as I said in the video today, we were more than likely going to see a pullback if we didn't hold hourly support, which I don't want to see us move too much more lower now, because if we do, that's not a great sign. We're probably heading down to, like I said, that 85 cent area. Should be the 200-day moving average. But yeah, we're sitting at 92 after hours, still holding for a potential hourly bull flag. But again, this is after hours. I'm not really too concerned in levels after hours. We'll see where we open into tomorrow. But if we open tomorrow and we lose 92, not good. Probably heading back down to that 85 cents, maybe even 75 cents. But need to be expected, right? We have no daily support. If you look at the chart on the daily, we have no daily support to 55 cents. So that means we could pull back 54% and still just be hitting daily support. It's actually a weekly bull flag too. Let's see. We remove that daily bull flag target. Yeah, I pulled back a little bit more than we would have liked to see, but consider that one massive bear trap here. And it's looking like 143. But again, folks, right, yesterday or over the weekend, basically they came out and said, we're going to look at what 2 plus 2 is. We don't really know for sure what 2 plus 2 is, but we're going to get back to you in a couple weeks. So they do this, right? They create these big moves, They get everybody, they suck everybody in. You're coming in late. People bought yesterday, and now the 20-30% pullback comes into play, right? We're already down almost 25%. And then in a couple weeks, they'll be like, yeah, so 2 plus 2 does equal 4. You'll be happy to know. And we're moving forward with that. So, you know, it's just classic manipulation. Like, you know what the biggest manipulator ever is? Tariffs. Oh, they're on, they're off, they're on, they're off. Oh, instead of this, they're this much. Oh, psych. They're completely removed. Oh, trade deal. Oh, no trade deal. It's just like the biggest manipulating tool ever. And that's all this game is, right? It's completely corrupted. It's completely manipulated. And yeah, Nancy Pelosi's $400 million net worth goes to show you how manipulated this sector and the whole market in general is. Blah, a penny up for a penny down doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Once rescheduling hit, this will easily be over $1. Yeah, easily. We were at $1.20 today, so we were already over $1. Humberto would like to take a look at OGI and Cronos. So let's take a look at OGI. So we had that inverse head and shoulders that confirmed, and look at how, like, again, either I'm the luckiest bullshitter and the biggest bullshitter of life, or technical analysis does work. So, again, you just take your measured move there from the low to the high, you move it out to your neckline to where we broke out, and there you go, you had your measured move, and look where we hit. We hit and then pulled back significantly, and here we are breaking out, coming back down, confirming old resistance as new support, and at this point we could be heading up to $1.80, $2. We have earnings coming out tomorrow. What does it say? August? What the hell? It's saying August 13th. Missed. Did their earnings drop a day early or something? I'm confused. Stupid trading view. I don't know what's going on here. August 13th, 2025. Okay, then. I don't think it came out. But yeah, we're looking pretty decent here. This one's actually a weekly bull flag as well. So if we go from the low to the high there, we actually confirmed it, held our key support on that consolidation, and we're looking at 198. So yeah, that 180, $2 mark. I mean, we just hit 169. So in terms of percentage away, that's about 17%. So wouldn't be surprised at all to see us up there in the not too distant future. Weekly time frame. Yeah, we're bumping our head right on the 50, actually the 100 weekly, and then we got some runway until the 200 there at 288. And we just had a golden cross as well. But typically what happens with a golden cross is when they're lagging, so the price comes down, tightens up, and then you get the real move, and here we are, the big moves coming down. So we could see upwards of $2 here. And it's all going to be riding on earnings at this point. We're still not weekly overbought yet either, so we got some runway. It's looking decent. And Cron, that would be the last one for members by the looks of it. So yeah, this one, inverse head and shoulders as well. After the descending triangle confirmed, we hit that. And then the inverse head and shoulders target was 279, and we hit 277. Oh no, but that technical analysis stuff doesn't work, folks. Again, tune into longer longer than 5-minute and 1-minute videos, and you might be able to learn a thing or two. But yeah, literally can't make this stuff up. Low to the high there, 279, we hit 277, and then indecision candle today. Doji probably set up for a daily inside bar into tomorrow, but daily consolidation will be due soon. So yeah, Cron absolutely crushed their earnings, and here we are hitting that resistance that we were looking for. Close to seeing a bull cross in the stochastic, so we should see some POW algo alerts fire off on Cron soon, and we're getting above the 200 weekly, so a big move looks to be on the horizon as well for Cron. And like, you have to remember, it's got what, $800 and some million cash. We just had the golden cross as well, so yeah, don't go sleeping on Cron. Cron's one of those names that could easily make some news headlines with a big acquisition. Might even see something on US front, international. All right, I think we got all the members done. Hit the like button. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. We got the Liberty, Statue of Liberty. Feeling free today. What's up, guys? Got that one. Good afternoon, Rod. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you as well, Justin. Thanks for joining. Can we look at Tillray? Yeah, so I already looked at Tillray. So we still are just looking at the hourly as the most important factor right now. And we're back testing EMA 12 here after hours. But so far, no major red flags whatsoever. We need to be expecting a pretty sizable pullback. So I already went over Tillray, so I think I got probably most of your questions. And I also just posted a video on Tillray as well. They had the news today. They're expanding their Happy Flower drinks and Fizzy Janes. So they have the 10 milligram options now, variety pack, multi-pack, and very, very soon you're probably going to see crypto payments enabled on there as well. And they're expanding to different states coming soon. Can we look at NCLH? Sure, NCLH. Norwegian. All right, so we'll zoom out, look at the higher level time frames. A big move on the monthly time frame. We've been bouncing on the monthly for the last few months, and inside bar here this month. Weekly bull flag shaping up at the moment. Go from that low here to the high. Well, it looks like I already might have been a daily bull flag, but it looks like I was already charting this on a different time frame. But let's look at the weekly because this is the most important here now. So we're starting weekly consolidation. Anything over 2280, we'll consider that a weekly bull flag. So that's key support going forward. Really, as long as we hold $22, it's looking pretty good. And then key resistance is going to be the high of the bounce there at 27.10. Break that. Measured move, you're looking at a move to 35.66. Not much there. Weekly time frame. Yeah, we do have the 50 weekly there at 22.32 as well. So we could back test that. As long as we hold $22, I think we're set up well for continuation. And the 50, or actually the 200-day moving average is at 22.58. So again, a lot of support. As long as we hold 22, I think we're just fine. And we're actually set up for a potential golden cross over the next couple of weeks as well, adding a bit more fuel to the fire here, and gas kind of expecting that continuation. So 35.66 if we break key resistance there at 27.10 is the measured move. Tillray down to 91. Yep. That's better anyways. Can buy lower before it rockets again and they announce Schedule 3. Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, they're going away. They're going to work with their teams. They're working real hard to figure out what this 2+2 thing is. They're going to come back and let us know. It's like, all right. So after a long, hard few weeks, it's 4. Profit takers today. Yeah, well, like I said yesterday in the live stream, there was a bunch of us that entered a trade at 44 cents and we sold at 88 cents when we were looking for a trade on that falling wedge that broke bullish, hidden bullish RSI divergence, and we had the daily bull flag targeting 108 and we crushed that. Now we got a weekly bull flag target of 143, but you can't go in a straight line forever. There's always going to be ebbs and flows and pullbacks along the way, and we haven't even hit the high of yesterday yet. Like yeah, I guess it was 92 was the high of yesterday. So we're just coming back down on the high of yesterday. So old resistance becoming new support, and daily consolidation starting. So we're losing the low of the day after hours, but if that happens into tomorrow, that'll be a daily consolidation period happening, and more than likely going to see that across the sector. Can you look at IMCC? Their Q2 numbers were okay. Yeah, they just came out this morning, right? Yeah, they were okay. So they beat, but still negative in terms of EPS, and their revenue had a pretty sizable miss, though. Not really a name I follow very often, or that I'm super bullish on, to be completely honest with you. But at the moment, pretty choppy here on the lower level time frames. Could see a monthly EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, so it's a little bit weaker here than most names in the space, and a bearish triple thunder crossover as well. We're losing the 10-week moving average, and the stochastic and the MACD all crossing bearish, which is like the complete opposite of what most names are doing at the moment. So key support going to be at 235, which is the 50 weekly. Lose that, we're probably heading back down under a couple of dollars. Already had the golden cross as well. And like I said, a lot of support in that 230 area. We got the 232, 231, the 100, and the 200-day moving average respectively. So don't be surprised if we come back down to around that 230, maybe even back down to around $2 by the looks of it. QBTS. All right, so we have an ascending triangle here. So you draw it like that, and then you just take your measured move. I like to use the real candle bodies as much as possible. So you'd move it out here to where we broke out, and that's your measured move, 27.97. So we'll round it up to 28. And there's another one forming. Another little mini one. So this is just a continuation pattern and bullish continuation. So essentially it's just a series of higher lows. What's going on here? It's just a series of higher lows and a horizontal line of resistance. And then on the flip side, a descending triangle is when you have a series of lower highs and a horizontal line of support. And that's a bearish continuation pattern. So as of right now, we actually have another one forming here again. And then you just take your measured move there. And yeah, that one's saying again 28 bucks. So wouldn't be surprised to see at 28, see us at 28 here in the not too distant future. Could happen over the next couple weeks. QBTS. Major red flags there. Weekly time frame. Yeah, we just had the 50 and the 200 weekly cross bullish as well, and the 100 and the 200 cross potentially here over the next couple of weeks. So this one looks like it wants that $28 level, riding the 50-day moving average as support. So that's looking good. So that's D-Wave Quantum. And CGC, I think we already did CGC, right? Yeah, we did. So you might have come in late, or maybe I did it before you, before I saw that you posted that. What did he say about CGC? Yeah, you'll have to go back and look at that one. Anyone into FLAR? Do you mean Flare? FLAR. Yeah, you must mean Flare. Do you mean Flare, like FLR, USC? Crypto? Yeah, this one I was talking about it today. It is a weekly bull flag, but not the most clear. It's barely starting weekly consolidation, but there is lots of bull flags out there in crypto on the weekly time frame. So that one could be moving up to around 4 cents here, and we're tightening up big time in this symmetrical triangle, and it's it's doing something, taking the playbook, a move out of XRP's playbook. Just loves these ascending triangles, symmetrical triangles. And if we do break out, that'd be a move up to around 12 cents. Just depends where we break out, right? If you would adjust it to where the breakout point happens. But if we do get right close to the end here, that'd be in March. That lines up well right around the same time that their airdrops stop as well, because there's still, I think, 5 more months. So again, because they keep doing these airdrops every month, they're adding that to the supply, right? So it's sell pressure against the price. But EMA 12 and 26 bull cross lining up here on the 2-week time frame, and the first ever on the monthly as well. and the alt season on the cusp here. So again, typically what we'll see is Ethereum and some of the other major larger cap name alts, and then you'll start to see the medium cap and then the small cap start to run after. And FLR is still relatively small. Market cap is 1.65 billion, so it's pretty decent, but still small in the grand scheme of things. Look at XRP, you got a market cap of what? 160 billion? 195 billion now. Wow, crazy. And then probably going to pass ETH soon. ETH's got a market cap of 555 billion. XRP is the only one that ever passed ETH in 2018 before they removed the Korean exchange data. And in my opinion, it'll do it again. And then the next time it passes ETH, it probably will never ever see a higher market cap than XRP ever again. And then I think there's a good chance that XRP passes Bitcoin and becomes the most valuable digital asset. Ripple, the company, will become the world's most valuable company. And again, don't need to convince anybody, because you're not going to put in thousands of hours worth of research. I know you won't. It's pretty much less than 1% of people will. So I don't need to try to let you into my brain, because I've already done thousands of hours of research into XRP and Ripple and crypto. So the only thing you're going to have to do is just wait, because time will convince you. So like I said, I know you're not going to, if you don't believe me, well, put in the thousands of hours worth of research, and I know you're not going to do that. So no need to try to convince you beyond that. Let's see, get an update here on the trades. Anyone know the decay on MSOX? I can't find any real info on decay and fees. People just say not to hold MSOX because the fund says not to. Okay. Let me get that for you. Yeah, this is why you want to be in a POW, like in the POW Group private community or an investment community as well, because like we've been talking about this for like years, right? You'd have known this for years. But again, I know when people come into MJ, they're not well versed into anything. The people, they're just very passionate people, right? Like myself included. You come in, you're like, I love cannabis. You're like, I want to. There's money here, right? But you got to look into the financial aspect as well and understand how the game is played. And yeah, that's one thing. Let me just bring it up here. Okay, so here you go. So in the POW Group private community, I even got ChatGPT and AI built into it, but I made a custom response here. So leveraged ETFs, exchange traded funds, have considerable risks and are not appropriate for long-term investing. Compounding can cause large losses for 3x or 2x, whatever it is, leveraged ETFs during volatile markets, such as U.S. stocks first half of 2020. 3x ETFs get their leverage by using derivatives, which introduce another set of risks. Since they maintain a fixed level of leverage, 3x or 2x, whatever it is, they eventually face complete collapse if the underlying asset and index declines more than 33%. That's on a 3x. If it's a 50x, or sorry, a 2x, then it's 50%. So if it falls over 50% in a single day, it could completely collapse. Even if none of these potential disasters occur, leverage ETFs have high fees and add up to significant losses in the long run. So that is why it has decay built into it. And we'll just jump into the POW Group private community really quick here. So yeah, even asked AI questions and they get the answer right in here as well. So you're correct, highlighting significant risks associated with leveraged exchange traded fund. Here's a more detailed breakdown. So this is AI, leverage and compounding, volatility risk, derivatives, increased risk, potential or complete collapse, higher fees, not designed for long-term holding. Due to the nature of the leverage and the impact of the compounding, 3x ETFs are typically not recommended, or 2x, for long-term holding. They are more suited for short-term trading strategies by experienced investors who are able to monitor and manage their positions actively. In conclusion, leveraged ETFs, in this instance 3x, can provide opportunities for substantial profits in short-term timeframes. The associated risk, particularly in volatile markets, make them inappropriate for long-term investing. It's crucial for investors considering these products to thoroughly understand the mechanics, risk, and costs involved. So hopefully that makes sense. But again, you want to read prospectuses, right? Look at, let's just look at XXRP, Tillray ETF. So you're going to go over here to Tillray funds, and I know this is XRP and you're wondering about MSOX, but let's just go here for this one. But it's a 2x. It's the same thing, isn't it? MSOX is 2x, isn't it? Let's just bring it up. MSOX Advisor shares. Where are we at here? Scroll up. I don't have any information here. So the management fee, 0.85%. MSOS prospectus, right there. Documents. So it's a 2x. So it's the same thing as the Tillray XRP futures-based ETF. So Tillray 2x long seeks daily investment results before fees and expenses that correspond to 2 times the daily price performance of XRP for a single day, not for any other period. So that's why you shouldn't hold it for the long term. And again, if this were to fall, if XRP were to fall 50% in a single day, the whole fund could collapse. You could lose all your money, right? So it's a risk of total loss. And again, if you're in crypto or if you're in like MJ stocks, why do you need leverage anyway? Like you're in the 2 most volatile asset classes on the planet. Again, we're getting into the 5-minute video and the 1-minute video thing again, right? It's all bullshit. So stop like the instant gratification, get rich quick mindset. We need to throw that in the garbage and lock it in there and don't bring it out ever again. We have to understand that crypto and MJ are already volatile just buying normal common shares, right? So why do you need to bring in more risk? It just doesn't make any sense. So if we go over here to MSOX, same thing. Leverage ETF seeks daily investment results, daily, keyword daily, that correspond to approximately 2 times the return of MSOS. And they don't double dip or whatever. The pursuit of the pursuit of daily 2x investment goal means that the return of the fund for the period longer than the full trading day may have no resemblance to 200% of the return in the US MJ ETF. So let me just see here. If it says anything. The fund does not seek to achieve its stated investment objective over a period of time greater than a single day, right? So it's not just like you can hold this thing long term. It might have a little bit more of a breakdown, collateral risk. Correlation risk, daily leverage risk. Yeah, so right here, if MSOS, a single day movement in the ETF approaching -50 at any point in the day could result in total loss of the investor's investment. So even if the underlying ETF MSOS subsequently moves in the opposite direction, eliminating. So again, total risk of total loss. Anytime you see risk of total loss, I'm out. Like, nope. So again, this is for sophisticated investors, only to be done on like a day-to-day basis. So if you're holding this long term, you're also paying a management fee. So you want to be very, very cautious. And again, you should have already read this prospectus, right? Like if you're buying a leveraged ETF, especially a leveraged ETF, because it's very risky. So you want to always read stuff. I know that's not very common these days. But yeah, daily, you can even just search like daily. Might even suitable. Let's look at the word suitable. Yeah, the fund is not suitable for all investors. Yeah, right there. So the fund is not suitable for all investors. The fund is designed to be utilized only by knowledgeable investors who understand the potential consequences of seeking daily 2x investment results, understand the risks associated with the use of leverage, and are willing to monitor their portfolios frequently. The fund is not intended to be used by and is not appropriate for investors who do not intend to actively monitor and manage their portfolios. An investor could lose the full principal value of their investment within a single day. So there you go. That's why it's not good to hold long term, because it's based on the value of each day, right? They're just trying to mimic 2x of MSOS on any given day. And like I said, if there was a underlying drop of the MSOS ETF, if it dropped 50%, the whole fund could collapse and you lose all your money. It's the same thing with XXRP and Tillray ETF. See if it had any. Yeah, so here's the prospectus here. So it's essentially the same thing, right? So this goes into a little bit more detail. Ugh, shares of the funds are not FDIC insured, may lose value and have no bank guarantee. Ugh. So yeah, some of these you want to just be very careful, right? If you want to buy an actual ETF, that's a different thing. But when you start to see leveraged, that's when you start to get into the risky business stuff. So yeah, MSOX off of the lows, it's up 372%. But from the high of October to the low, it was also down 96%. So, and it did a reverse split as well, 1 for 20. So again, you don't want to be holding it long term. Sorry, never mind. Saw it. Okay, was that CGC? Okay. Thanks for all your insight. No problem at all, Stefan. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all that you do, says Justin. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. My pleasure. Have a fantastic evening as well. And Tillray is only worth $1 billion. Yeah, it was 500 million or something, which was insane. Yeah, it's 1.05 billion market capitalization US. That's going to be probably closer to 20 or 50 billion when it's all said and done. Maybe even 100 billion. Tillray for the win. I am convinced my brother to buy at 44 cents after I lost so much. Been buying since 20s and he's so happy. That's an awesome entry. Still closed under $1 today. Yeah, it did. So we're not expecting the timer. So maybe tomorrow we start the timer, but we have until September 21st. But like I said, we could get a 6-month extension, brings us to March 20th, 2026. Before they're absolutely forced to do a reverse split or delist. Justin says, good for us to buy cheaper. It's going to get over $1 for 10 days. It's going to happen. Yeah, I think there's a good chance. Just buy and don't think about it. Yeah, you want to be a little careful with that mentality. If it's Tillray, I'd say you're probably fine though. David says, Rod was on fire yesterday. Please don't ban me for saying so. Why would I ban you for saying that? Thank you very much though. Yeah, I get pretty fired up sometimes. I had a few other people yesterday, like some people were saying, you know, create these 5-minute videos. Like so many people on my videos all the time are like, they'll comment and be like, I can't watch this video, make them shorter. And I'm like, well, don't watch it then. I don't know what to tell you. Go float, fly kite. Bothers me none. Like no fucks given, to be honest. I'm not here for views. Why do you think these people do these 5-minute videos, these 2-minute videos, right? It's because they're feeding into the bullshit, right? Like, why are you like, this is one of the hardest things to do on the planet, to make money in stocks and crypto, right? It's like the odds are so stacked against you, and you're going to come in with that instant gratification mindset and all these leveraged ETF mindsets. Like, it's all bullshit. It's all terrible. That's why people lose, is because they come in, they see these leveraged ETFs and things like that. They don't take the time to understand, and they just go and throw their hard-earned dollars into something. They watch a 5-minute video or a couple-minute video on YouTube and they think they're a genius, right? It takes a lot of time and effort. It's like less than, 5% of people are successful at day trading, but yet everybody during C19 and after especially with the rise of Robinhood and cell phones and everything like that, smartphones. Everybody wants to be a day trader, but majority of people lose money because most people want to buy when they should be selling, and most people want to sell when they should be buying. And again, you wouldn't be able to learn all of this in a 2-minute or a 5-minute video. It's all good. I'm not selling any of my shares. 60K, hoping for some big gains in 2026. Yeah, the only wild card for me is like the broader market, man, is so heated. 2026 isn't looking good, but you know, if the S&P 500 were to see, you know, 10% correction in the run of a day, obviously MJ is going to be absolutely decimated. Probably going to be down 20-30%. But I do think MJ will be a nice rotational play because, again, after crypto legislation is done here in a couple months, there's nothing to do left for crypto. They're already getting most of the AI executive orders out of the way, and then I think they're going to pivot over to MJ. But yeah, MJ is set up well to be that kind of rotational play over the next couple of years, especially with like safer banking, uplisting, rescheduling. Once we get rescheduling, that's going to open the flood doors for all these like VCs and institutions, companies with fiduciary duties and stakeholders and shareholders that they have to appease, and then you know, companies entering the space because they're able to now because it's not a Schedule 1, meaning no medical benefit. How are you going to sell your shareholders and stakeholders on a Schedule 1 investment, right? It wouldn't fly. That's called fiduciary duty, and they'd be liable. So when it's Schedule 3, that's going to open up the floodgates. Kevin O'Leary already said that he wanted to invest in cannabis if it wasn't on Schedule 1. So there you go. Like all these wealthy investors are going to come flooding in. And just imagine once we get uplisted to the NYSE and the NASDAQ and we can play ball on the major exchanges, right? So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I do think 2026, I think late 2026 is going to be a turnaround time for Tillray specifically with regards to their earnings. And then I think 2027 is like a complete moonshot, life generating, like generational wealth incoming. Hats off to you crypto boys and girls. Don't forget the girls. Yeah, we're doing well. We're consolidating a little bit here. Hourly inside bar, probably due for an hourly high or low at some point soon here on Litecoin. Oops. Hourly time frame, but this one's a massive bull flag. Look at that move. Went from 118 to 131 without any hourly consolidation. So when we do start hourly consolidation, might even look for this one for a trade on BTCC. If we get somewhere close to that 126 area, could be a nice entry here for a quick hourly bull flag. And if we confirm it after hourly consolidation, you're looking at about a move up to around 140. So I'm actually going to set an alert on this one. And we'll see. There we go. Perfect. So might look to enter that one as the next trade, actually. They did a reverse split. They also did a reverse split MSOS. Yeah, they did. Look at SPXS. The SPY 3x leverage. Inverse 3x leverage. So when SPY goes up 1%, this goes down 3%. When SPY goes down 1%, this goes up 3%. I think I said that right. It's just the opposite. But look at this one. Reverse split, reverse split, reverse split, reverse split. 1 for 10, 1 for 5, 1 for 5, 1 for 5. They just keep doing that, right? But look at the fund performance. It's just destined to fail. So this is kind of like where MSOS is probably heading. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But again, it's just to mimic it on a daily basis. So it just naturally decays. These are the short-term hedging tools. No shares are FDIC insured, only deposit of cash and checking, savings, and CDs up to $250,000. I would take a 100 bagger on Tillray. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm not here for any 100%, 200% gains. I didn't know that. Is that the same thing with CDIC? CDIC. So Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation, Canadian Deposit Insurance Corporation, insures eligible deposits up to a maximum of $100,000 principal and interest combined per depositor per insured category. RRSP, RRF, RESP, whatever, are each considered separate insurance categories. CDIC does not insure mutual funds, stocks, bonds, or ETFs. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's why it's also, like, you never want to have all your money in one bank account either, right? You want to spread it out across multiple banks. But yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, they're super risky. I'm just thinking, like, if somehow the stock certificate, I guess it'd be pretty much, like, impossible for them to like get hacked or something like that. So, but like, yeah, that's interesting. Like, obviously, like, if you lose 100% of your money, it's not insured, right? But if, like, somehow it was the bank's fault, like if you're buying stocks through your bank and something, like, I guess it, like I said, it's probably near impossible for someone to, like, steal your stocks. It's not like crypto, right? But I think Coinbase actually does their own deposit insurance. So was watching Martin Lucas video, this guy is like anti-Tillray. Thanks, Rod. No problem at all. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't... yeah, Tillray isn't for everybody, right? Cannabis isn't for everybody at all. And like I said, Martin Lucas likes the S&P 500. So generally, people who invest in the S&P 500 don't like cannabis or crypto, right? they're very, you know, they're looking like 12% a year, 13% a year, 14% a year on average is what the S&P 500 is their annual return. So then there's margin, you can increase things that way. But yeah, not everybody has the stomach for the risk, right? Not many people like to see their portfolio drop 70, 80, 90%, which you have to endure in crypto and in MJ. But I've created more wealth in crypto in the last few years than I ever would probably in my lifetime investing in the S&P 500, right? But teach their own. Like, everybody, who cares? Like, who cares if... There was tons of people who hated Tesla. Like, I remember covering Tesla back in 2018, and all the Wall Street analysts and mainstream media was saying, oh, Tesla's garbage, it's never going to be profitable, it makes less cars in a year than Toyota makes in a month, blah, blah, blah. Like, who gives a shit? Like, who cares if one person doesn't like it or does like it, or, like, do you like it? And do you understand what you hold? Did you do the research? Amazon, Warren Buffett missed Amazon, right? He missed Apple. Didn't understand it. Didn't understand the technology. Didn't put in the thousands of hours that you need to do. He's just a numbers guy. He was looking at the numbers saying, this doesn't make any sense. And this whole, like, tulip bubble thing, right? This magic internet information technology not gonna last, right? And Amazon even dropped 95%. Most people couldn't stomach that. But then look what happened, is they understand the growth curve, right? This is what will happen to pretty much every new upcoming industry. So if you would have listened to all the people back there, the naysayers, right? But if you actually understood where the world was going and how big this technology is going to be, it's just like MJ, right? We understand the magnitude of this medicine, this plant, and how much growth we're like, if you can just measure the growth of the MJ sector right now, we're like not even 5% of the growth, right? Like, we got 95% of the growth for the sector still yet to come, right? We're not even close to the blue chip phase, which blue chips are the clear long-term winners, right? And, you know, usually there's half a dozen to a dozen of them. That's only going to come after the US legalizes at the federal level, and it's not going to be as that happens. It's going to be like 5 to 10 years after they legalize it, right? So we're so early. Like I said, we're not even in the first inning. We're still in the pregame warm-ups, and all of the growth is is in front of us. So with that being said, you don't need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars because we still have 95% of the growth to go, right? So that's why you want to just no more than 5 to 10% of your net worth. And I ask this to people all the time. They're like, do you think I went too heavy on this MJ stock? And I'm like, well, what's your net worth? And they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, okay, so like if you paid off all your debts, how much money would you have left over? And it's like most people don't even know what debts, like liabilities and assets are. People think that a home is an asset. It's not. It's like a car, right? It's a liability. The second you drive it off the lot new, it loses like a third of its value or something crazy, or like a quarter. So, and it costs money to operate your house. It costs money to operate your car, right? You got to pay insurance on both, property taxes, etc. So, yeah, at the end of the day, what's your net worth? If your net worth is $100,000, meaning if you paid off all your debts, settled everything that you owe, and sold your car, everything like that, like what is your net worth? And add up all your savings, etc. So if your net worth is $10,000, you should never invest any more than 10% into one stock or one sector. So that's $1,000 max, right? If you have $100,000 net worth, then you're looking at $10,000 into one sector. And then of that $10,000, spread it out into about 6 to 12 different stocks within that sector. So if it's MJ, if you have a net worth of $100,000, shouldn't put any more than $10,000 into that sector. And then of that $10,000, spread that $10,000 out into 6 to 12 different companies and get a mix of producers, US, Canadian, retailers, maybe an ETF if you're comfortable in that. All right, I think I got everything. But yeah, like to each their own, right? Everybody can like whatever they want. So I was saying to people that Auxly was a great business. And again, now all these fundamental value investors are starting to come out of the woodwork and say how much they love Auxly, right? That's because they didn't understand the growth curve and that they were number one in terms of products, brands, right? They didn't understand where we were versus where we're going. And now they're finally starting to see the value investing principles, right? The numbers are starting to make sense. But again, look, they just came out of the woodworks as the price hit 5, 6, 7, 10 cents. Well, I was buying this thing at a penny saying, hey, obviously the numbers aren't great right now, but factoring in pro forma and projections and where we're going, I did hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of research in this space. And I said, XLY is a diamond in the rough. And this thing, it's way different than an AYR who's at a penny or below a penny, which basically they told you there is no value left for existing shareholders. It's going to become a new entity and this is business. But yet people are still buying it. Whereas Auxly, all they had was a going concern due to their cash position, but then they get investment from Imperial Brands. Like we had all the makings of a massive turnaround and comeback story, and that's exactly what we got. I interviewed the CEO, right? I spent time getting to learn, the kind of how the management is thinking, etc. And if you're thinking, well, I can't interview CEOs, it's like, well, I interviewed them, so you don't have to. Tune into that. But again, it's not 5 minutes, it's not 1 minute. It's gonna take some time, And then you probably might have to watch it twice to really comprehend it. All right, gonna start wrapping it up. How we doing on crypto? Yeah, hourly consolidation starting on most names. Your Airbnbs will appreciate in market value even as you depreciate them for tax purposes. Yeah, it's crazy, especially in Edmonton. I bought one condo. It's pending right now. I bought it for $58,000 and it's pending right now for $157,000. So I got over $100,000 of what I paid for it, and it's pending right now on MLS. So that's a huge gain. And then I'm benefiting from the cash flow renting it out on my long-term rentals. But my short-term rentals, I've actually got one for sale at the moment right now as well, and I'm probably going to make about 50% gain on that one if I were to sell it. I got a viewing on Thursday, but each month I'm making like 300, sometimes 400% cash flow on like my expenses are like $1,000, and in the busy months in the summertime, you can bring in anywhere from like $3,000 or $4,000 just on one unit. So it's pretty incredible. And then you're benefiting from the appreciation of the asset as well, and then benefiting from all the tax write-offs. Exactly. We got Joseph in the house. What up? What up? No, we're just wrapping up here. What else we got going on? Yeah, it was. Oh man, I really hope people know what they're doing. Link's another one that's just been absolutely ripping, and could be not too long here before we're back up to all-time high territory. Litecoin looking like it wants to go again. So it might not even start hourly consolidation. All right, checking in on the Power Group community here as well. September rate cut odds. Look at this in the news channel here in crypto. September rate cut odds surged to 94%. Rate cuts incoming. So typically what happens is when you start to see this known by everybody and you're at 94%, it increases the odd that it's going to be a sell the news event. So there's a good chance that we could run into this and then they rate cut, everybody's expecting it, and then we actually sell off. Got some more earnings coming in here. Yeah, Ethereum's on fire. Yeah, usually first to spark alt season, then rest of alts go nuts. Tuned in late, hard work, had work. Loving your vids, bro. Keep them coming. You bet. Well, like I said, I'm going to be, as long as I'm breathing, as long as I'm alive, I'll be making videos. So hopefully many years. But glad you're finding value in them. And yeah, I just, I do my own thing. I get pretty bothered by some of the, other channels out there that just, like, they don't really care about people at all. They just want views and they just want to make money off people on their videos, right? And I could care less. Like, what I want is want to help people tell the truth, and not just come on here and look at people as a dollar sign. Actually help people. So yeah, I take pride in my work, and I work very, very hard, like all day, every day, living and breathing into the in charts and the Power Group private community and helping people, and the amount of time I spend in the run of a day. And then yesterday, like I said, I had a bunch of comments saying, like, do shorter videos. It's just like, oh my god, like, if you knew how much money or how much time and money and effort I spend in a run of a day, or in the last like 20 years learning financial markets, and you think you're going to come in here and watch a 1-minute video, 5-minute video, and become financially independent and free, you got another thing coming. But yeah, love to come on, have these live streams, and makes it all worth it whenever people are getting value out of it. So appreciate the feedback, and never hurts to hear people say that they're getting value out of it. All right, might try to get another couple of videos out. We'll see here how the rest of the day goes. Gotta go pick my daughter up from daycare at some point in the next hour or so as well. So try to get a video out. We do have OGI earnings tomorrow, and then we have Oxley on Thursday. So things are going to get interesting here with those two, and yeah, we'll see. Most MJ starting to pull back now, so that might be a good sign that we're pulling back a little bit into these earnings reports, because if they were to miss, and after a big move, could easily be down double digits, 20% on a bad report. But if they do beat, based on a pullback leading into that, could see a pretty big move to the upside if they beat. But with Oxley removing their going concern, I'm inclined to think that it's going to be a good one. All right. Going to start wrapping it up. Question, how many days Tillray should stay above $1 on the US side in order to not be delisted? It's 10 in a row. They didn't close above $1 today, though. What did they close at? 94? 95. So close at 95. So it needs to close at $1 or higher for 10 consecutive trading days. 10 days concurrent, exactly. It's 10 trading days or business days. So it's not just 10 calendar days, it's actual trading days. All right, going to end it there. Thanks again, everybody, for joining. And like I said, I'll try to get a couple videos out a little bit later on today. Maybe a earnings prep video for OGI or Oxley. All right, going to end it there. Hope you have a great night. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one.